Trai nai nai con la vida, vida de la baila, cura con la guaira, limpia limpia taita, vibrando con la hualca.
And we're live, guys. Welcome everyone who's gonna join us. Most likely there's not many at the moment, but you're gonna watch this in the repeat. So guys, welcome my sister Diana here. She's gonna join us today for this live stream. She's a life and manifestation coach, and she's gonna teach us about that, and also about why today 11th of 22 is the very important date for manifestation. I see manifestation as very tightly knit with setting your intentions as well, for as we work with ayahuasca primarily before every ceremony. We always ask you to set an intention so you know why you're drinking the medicine, what do you want to achieve. So I think about manifestation somewhat as an intention for your entire sort of life. And yeah, Diana, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And guys, if you're watching this in replay, #replay, it would be nice to just know who watched. And maybe if you have any questions, you can always ask in the messenger and we will look and reply after, if you're not watching this in a lifetime. Yeah, I think manifestation is like a new trend. It's nearly like a lot of the time people are using it, but they're not really sure what it is. So it's nice to talk about it, and especially because you're interested. And today is a special date, and it's even more magic.
Okay, Diana. So tell us, how did you become a manifestation coach? What did you do before that? And yeah, just a little bit about manifestation.
Yeah, I'm gonna first probably introduce myself. Not well, you introduced me a little bit, but just a small bit. But people don't know me. I am Sam's sister. I'm also a wife and mom of 4 beautiful daughters. I am an artist, and I am a life and manifestation coach. So how I come across manifestation is it actually was a surprise for myself. It wasn't something that I intentionally do. So 2 years ago, I met a friend and she seemed to be changed. And I looked at her and she was all different. And I was like, what are you doing? Are you doing something different? Like, because I could feel the energy. I didn't know what she was doing, but I could feel the energy. And that way I got introduced to one of the coaches. And she was working with the coach, and she said, this is the lady I'm working with. If you're interested, you can contact her. And this is where my manifestation journey began. So 2 years ago, when I got introduced to this material, I started to change myself. 2 years ago, I did not have what I have right now. I was still working in my logistic job. I was unhappy, unfulfilled. I had my kids in the crash, and I really hated what I was doing. I hated leaving my kids in the morning, coming back, feeling so empty, like life was really sad, and there was like a little voice inside that was telling me, you're meant for more. And yeah, and I knew that I meant for more. I've heard this voice, but there was nothing I can do about it. So this material 2 years ago, that's how I got introduced to manifestation. It's the first time when I set actually intention, what you were talking about, when I set the goal for myself. And I started working towards it. I started visualizing, manifesting, using different techniques and stuff like that. So I became a student 2 years ago, and now fast forward, I teach this myself. Yeah. So
Okay.
do you want to ask me?
Student becomes a teacher. Before we go in depth with the manifestation, I want to ask you something. Because I work with plant medicines, and I was a marine mechanical engineer before, working in oil and gas. You were working in logistics, and like also very like sort of technical jobs.
How did you end up working in oil and mechanical job? Do you want to tell the story?
That's what brings me, like, do you think that our paths as brother and sister are somewhat similar, that we came from like a soulless job, sort of like a traumatic upbringing, soulless job, and then eventually finding ourselves. And like you choose the path of, coaching, meditation, personal work in this way. I chose the plant medicine path, but we are both obviously achieving the results and like sort of changing our lives. What do you think it has to do with our upbringing?
Oh, it has everything to do with our upbringing. Now I know this. Like 2 years ago, I didn't know this. And what was happening for me, because you and I, we both lived through the traumatic childhood with our abusive parents, alcoholics in our family, well, one alcoholic, and all this time, the childhood and everything that was all the belief systems and everything has to do with our childhood. And it's funny because we were good kids of our parents, and we always did what we were told. Yeah, so we were told to go there, and that's where we went. And I went to this logistic college, which is maritime college in Liepe, and then I told you, like, do you want me to join me? Maybe because this was the only way to escape this abusive environment in our house. And that's how I ended up in Liepe, and then you yourself. So it's all to do with that. And now fast forward, I become a mom, I have a relationship, and everything in my life started to bring this back. It's like you come back, you still have to deal with problems from your childhood. I generated all the problems that I generated throughout my childhood, and how I saw my parents, interacting with each other. All of that obviously put a stamp on my relationships. Now I don't really know how to do it differently. So when I became a mother, and when I entered into a relationship, guess what? I had all the same things that my parents did. But at one point in my life, I was like, no, this is enough. I'm not going to do this. I want to change this. And that's how I started to shift. And I was like, I become aware that this is not who I want to be. And I started noticing traits of my father in me. And then that's when I started hating myself, and that's when I started like, no, enough is enough. I want to shift. I want to change. This is not for me. Yeah. So that's probably why. Do you want to tell your side of the story?
I mean, yes, the childhood was very traumatic. Like, especially for me, I think the most difficult part, which is like, I don't even remember, but I think what started it all was a separation with the mom, and they sent our brother and to our grandmother, and also me later on, a very early age, which I think is terrible for a long time. And I think this kind of set sort of pattern, and then all the separation and all the, our dad was sort of always like borderline aggressive, and you have to be like tiptoeing your life to just basically not. But anyways,
Yeah.
we found very different paths, and we're both working on ourselves. I definitely know my journey is not over yet. There's still a lot to work through, and I don't think you ever get perfect. But to not derail that conversation completely, like we're here to talk about manifestation, and but before we do, I want to address something that's personally a concern for me as well. There's a lot of something that's called like toxic positivity. I don't know if you know this term. It's basically where there's it's kind of like a multi-level pyramid scheme where it's like, oh, I'm a coach, and then you're a coach, and everyone's a coach, and like who's going to actually do the work, right? And it's also somewhat similar in the plant medicine field, but it's like there is like a dark side of that concept of manifestation and like this sort of work. So what I want to make sure people know is that we are aware of that, and we're going to talk about manifestation that actually works, and it's not about selling something. And so to begin that, I want to talk about my own experience with manifestation. I've never done any courses or anything like that. I've heard about it. I've heard mostly about, vision boards, where you have a board of things you want to achieve. So I never really had a board because I've been traveling around all the time. But what I did is I created a file on my phone, just a little text sort of file, and I wrote some points. And just so happened to be, which is an interesting synchronicity, 2 days ago, I was going through my phone and kind of cleaning it up, and I found that file. Like, for example, I live in a finca now, which is, countryside. I could show you. It's like a very green, beautiful place, and I have two sons, two boys, and I have this thriving business, and with the ayahuasca retreat that grown a lot within the last year and a half. And just so it was about 3 years ago when I said those manifestations, all of those things were in that list. Like back then I had 0 babies, and now I have 2, and they're both boys, which is very, very sort of trippy in a way. Like how can it be? But the things that you set your mind on, and what I would do is I would just sit down for like half an hour, sort of meditate, and I would envision myself like playing with my sons in the morning, or like being in this place, and things that I would do. And it came out not exactly like I envisioned it, but it still came out like the basics. So I know manifestation works, but it's better to probably do it professionally, and that's what Diana is going to teach us. How did manifestation work in your life, and how do we manifest things?
Yeah, so I want to start by just telling that we are all manifesting, and we're manifesting 24/7, literally, with our thoughts. And a lot of people are do it unconsciously. They're not aware of it, and that's what it is. So we always manifest, and all the thoughts that you think throughout the day, if more than 50% of that is positive, you are manifesting positive. And if more than 50% is negative, you're manifesting more negative to your life. So when you become aware, and you were aware because if you started to do the vision boards and stuff like that, and work through mindset, you are becoming aware of what you think about. And the more you're aware of it, the more you can actually shift it, or switch your thinking. So for example, if a negative thought comes into your head, you can just switch it, or you can choose not to entertain it. And that's how you, so manifestation is the thought, then the thought comes into the feeling. So the feeling is the secret behind the manifestation. The moment you entertain the thought, so the thought comes into your head, then you give it feeling. And that's when, like as with the power, you really manifest. So the feeling is giving you this 100% assurance that this will manifest. So how I know that my manifestation is going to come true, when I feel that, yes, I can do this. This is coming my way. So the moment I become, I have this 100% belief and faith in it, that moment it comes. And for me, manifestation, and from the 2 years ago, I started my conversation. I was in logistics office. I was broken inside. I had this surgery that I came through. Everything went kind of downhill, and I felt unhappy. I felt like something is missing in my life. And on the side, I always had this, I like to paint. I liked it. It was like my hobby thing. And I was thinking, I would like to have it, as a full-time job. I would like to do this. I would like to enjoy my life. I want to take my kids to school every morning, drop them to school, enjoy my morning, do my, and guess what? I think since I started working on this with the coach 2 years ago, everything started to unravel. I started to work with my thoughts. I started to catch them. I started to shift my beliefs. And that moment is when I started realizing things are starting to move, things are happening. In a year's time, I quit my logistics job, 9 to 5. I fulfilled my long time passion, and I became a full-time artist. And not only I become an artist, I also believed in myself. I believed that my paintings can be sold for big money, and I become first live wedding painter in Ireland. And ideas start coming to me, and this idea of a live wedding painting wasn't really mine. And like people started to come up to me, something started to shift. People from the newspaper, radio stations coming up and asking me for interviews, and that's how everything started to unravel. And my income grew. I did less, but I loved what I do. I spent time with my kids, and my income grew dramatically. For example, just to give you an idea, if I drew 2 paintings and worked 2 days per month, this is my monthly income when I was, in my logistics job 9 to 5. So
And how many paintings a month did you do the biggest amount?
Well, it depends because I also take deposits. I'm not really painting all the time. So, but my income is around 10K every month, and it's it's like with ease and flow. I do what I love. Like I can paint one day, I can take a break, I can go collect my kids from school, I can go, and now coaching is my second thing as well. So I have 2 income sources, not only paintings, but also coaching.
That's really great. So how do you, like, I want to talk about 2 things. First of all, how do you physically manifest? Like, what's the process looks like? What is your routine for that? And the second thing is like, how do you combine manifesting with actually doing actions and actually doing things? Because I think the risk here is for some people to just sort of spend their time in their mom's basement, just manifesting and not ever leaving to confront the world.
Yeah. No, my favorite expression is actually from God Works Through Faith book, Robert Russell, if you know this author. He's talking about success and faith. So success is faith expressed in action. So we want to believe, we want to manifest, we want to visualize, but we want to also take steps towards it. It's like the God gave us everything that we want in this universe, but we need to stand up and go and do something about it. And for example, the birds, they have the food here. Food is available. They can just go and get some worms or whatever they eat, or some berries. But they need to literally fly off the branch and go and get it. Yes, but it's still there. It's available for them. So if there is something that you really want, it's available to you. All you need to do is just stand up and take actions. Actions. Yeah. The manifestation process then is to think about something. So first of all, what you need to do is you need to create a desire, something that you really want. Like you had this vision board, but this is more sort of a vision. If you have a goal is a little bit different. It's like a focused thing, So for example, I like to create 6 months goal, something that I don't know how to achieve, not know yet, but it's something that I really, really want. And I concentrate my attention on it. I write it down. I write it out as I'm so happy and grateful now that I do this and that and that. For example, that I have my current goal is my beautiful home by the beach, and I enjoy my time with my girls, and this is what I visualize. So I have a goal, I write it out, I visualize, and then what I also do is every day, a night before the next day, I have 6 goal achieving activities that I do. I write them down, and then next day I make sure that I tick them off the box, and that's what I know that I need to do those 6, and if I do those 6, then I will get to that goal, and you normally get the idea. The ideas will come to you what you need to do. So this is the 3 steps, like the most important ones. You first write it out. You think of what you want, what you really, really desire, not something that your family wants, your parents want for you, nothing to do with anybody else. It's you. What do you want? And then once you know what you want, you write it out, and that's how you can then visualize it. You imagine yourself with it. You feel the feeling of having this already. That's an important part as well, is just to feel this feeling of you already having it. And then once you have this feeling, when you connect it with it in the morning, go and do some work. You just go and do, you just write out the things that you need to do. And always, I like to call it in spirit, action in spirit, so when you're connected, you go and do the things. So inspired. you do things inspired, not just to be done mechanically. Oh, I need to do, and I need to send that email. We're not doing it like that. What we want to do it in spirit. We want to do it inspired. So how would for example, Sam that has that goal, do it? How would you can actually think about it and connect to it back and forth, like some that has all of that. How would he do that? How would he write this email? How would he speak to that person? So that's what I like to do. And this process really works. It now works with my students. I have a group of people that I coach, and all of them building up little by little, they manifest, and it's just amazing.
That's great. Talking about your students, and we've already heard your success story, right? Can you tell us some of your student successes and how it looks like, something that impressed you personally?
Yes, well, every day I hear something, and every day when I hear my students like making progress, it really makes my heart melt, and it means I'm doing the right job and I'm in the right place. One of the probably biggest ones, my student Flory, she's a baker, and she was dreaming of opening her own, making her own business, and being successful. She was baking as a hobby, selling 1 cake, 2 cakes. But with me, when we started working with her, she now is, she looked at me, and she's now focusing on the wedding sector. So she's now working with wedding business, and she booked one of her orders for more than she could imagine. I think it was 1,000 something for a cake. She never had done anything like that before. She only like booked the cake for 50 euros. So by shifting the beliefs, by working through all of that self-image, she achieved those results. She also had her relationship with her husband was on the edge of divorce. They were divorcing. She didn't know what to do. She wanted to divorce. That's it, because it was the last thing. And because I have experience in those things, we work through relationship. My courses, including relationship course as well. So we talk about that a lot, and she started by shifting herself, her own beliefs, her own self-image. We do a lot of mirror work and working with herself, giving herself what she needed. Her husband changed. So miraculously, because our partner is our mirror, and this is what happened in my case as well. So I helped her with her relationship, with her business, and she's now thriving and going for it, and it's amazing.
That's great. Yeah, everyone can do it. And I wanted to remind you something, and we haven't spoken about it before, at least for a long time. Do you remember maybe 10 years ago or so, when you were already in Ireland, and I think you already had one daughter? You did mention that you had a vision board, and that it kind of included those things. Do you remember that or no?
You had the vision board, or I had it?
No. You had some kind of, somewhere in the closet in your room, you had some kind of thing with something similar to vision board. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
No, because I definitely remember that. That you had something that basically, or you written somewhere in your diary, some kind of list of things, and then you got them. So you were practicing it before. You were
well, with my
practicing.
daughters, with 4 kids, when we met with my husband, it was before I knew this works. When we met in 2004, he. I met him and I was like, I'm going to have 4 kids. And he's like, no, what are you laughing at? And we were only like dating back then. And then when we got married, I was like, no, I'm going to have 4 kids. And he was like laughing at me. And then there we go. We have 4 kids. So this stuff works. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, well, now tell us why today is a special day, the 11th of 22.
Yeah, so why so manifestation is happening always, but today it's unique. What is happening is 11 is number 1 is about new beginnings, and if you know, there is a power of repeating numbers, especially in 11, and just today it's a very powerful opportunity to allow with the voice within to just tell you what you want. If you listen today, if you ask yourself a question, what is it that I really want, you will get a great answer. And it's a great day to manifest. So it's like a double, no, it's actually quadruple force. It's like 1111. It's quadruple energy to manifest. So if there's anything that you want in your life, today is the most amazing day to do that. And you can do this by, as I said, by journaling. So if you want, you can just sit down, maybe like lit a candle. What I like to do is I journal, and my journal process is when it's quiet, my kids are in bed, I lit the candle, I have an empty space, I sit down and I journal. And start with gratitude. Don't just go jump into I want this. It's like it's like a Santa list when the kids want something from Santa Claus. They start bring me this and this and this, and I'm like, no, we have to go back and just ask, tell Santa, thank you for this and this, and then we ask for something. So before you jump into asking for what you want to manifest, I want you to sit down and really think about what is it that you're grateful for in this life. Think about people, maybe something that happened to you, all the little details, all the little things that you can think of, write them down, think what you're grateful for, and then focus and think about what is it that your heart really, really wants. Not people around you, not your wife, your kids. Forget about everybody. Just think about what you really want. You can also talk to your body and ask yourself, what is it that my body needs? What is it that my body wants? So don't jump ahead, sit down, have some time, really concentrate and talk to yourself. It's a nice day to do that. The next step is meditate. And I will share, when you will be sharing this live, you can share my meditation that I've created, and the students that I work with are using as well, and I use. It's called Create Your Life Meditation. And it's actually, it's very powerful meditation to really sit down and visualize where you want to go, your future, and connect with the feeling of it. So if you can do this today and really think about it, write out your goal, and it's gonna work four times, like it's quadrupled. So do it today. Do this meditation if you can today, and then repeat it once a day, at least for a month. 21 days is just to kind of have it, and then come back to us in a month's time and let us know if this worked, because I'm 100% sure if you really will connect with the feeling, it's going to work. Today is this amazing day to do this. And yeah, just before you go, and it's great to, and like Sam said, it's great to manifest and sit there, and we need to connect with the feeling, because we as human beings, we operate on 3 planes. Yes, it's our body, it's our mind, and it's our spirit, and we want to connect with all 3 of them to have things happen. And with body, we need to get moving. So once you have this beautiful manifestation, you know what you want, you go ahead and move in spirit, and think of what is it that you want to have, and maybe the steps that you need to take every single day to get yourself closer to that goal. I think that's it from me on that manifestation thing. Do you want to add anything?
Mm-hmm. No, I think it's a good the way you explained it. I think that I might give it a try. I definitely, without knowing it, because you messaged me after I woke up, but as soon as I woke up this morning, I was just lying and sort of visualizing some things as well, because it's kind of a habit of mine. Maybe that's why good things happen to me in life, is because I do have this.
Some people are unconscious competent, as we call them. You might not even realize and do this, and that's what I did. When you're saying now, we did it. I journaled before as well, and it was unconsciously. Because I felt like I want to do this, and that's how my manifestation happens. So for everyone, if you're watching and if something happens in your life, sometimes people say like everything bad happens, and it's like everything around me is against me, or like life is like just getting ahead or whatever. Just remember that life is nothing to do with it. You create your own life, and you can change this by changing one thought at a time, by connecting to the feeling, by connecting to something that you really want. Mm-hmm. It's important to understand, and this is probably what coaching is for, to just kind of show you that it's possible and help you give you this.
De verdad, yo lo muestro. Guys, look what I manifested.
Ew. Ah, I can't wait.
Say,
I haven't been in Colombia yet.
say I've been manifested by Papa.
Oh, so cute.
So Eldridge here asked us a question, or he says something. He came
Mhm.
to one of our retreats. I think it was 2 or 3 retreats ago. He says, after I saw the energy grid during our ayahuasca experience, now when I use intentions, I use my arms to move the energy, and it seems to be working great for my manifestations. So my question is, when we are vibrating hard, does that cause faster manifestations? So
Absolutely.
my opinion is, and we're gonna talk about ayahuasca as well, because just so you know, guys, my sister has never done it before, and she thinks it's maybe not necessary, but so we'll have to
No,
convince
I'm
her.
not. I recommend ayahuasca to everyone who has who is in that deep place and they might not know how to come out of it faster. So for the person that needs to get to the higher vibration faster, this could be like the great tool. For me, I will probably, when I come to Colombia, try it because I have no other way. And I'm planning my trip for the next beginning of the next
Yeah.
year to see
If
my
you're gonna
kids.
come, if you don't want to try it, we're still gonna mix it with your juice or something like that. So with that, Eldridge, thank you for your question. It reminds me of something, and it also ties into another subject. So basically, I remember one time I was having ayahuasca like a couple of years ago, and ayahuasca clearly told me that if I take my hand like this and I put it here on my forehead, sort of pressing this bone onto this point where like the third eye center is, it's
Yeah.
sort of as if this is some kind of like antenna, and I'm gonna get, my signal will be stronger, both receiving it and
Yes.
sending, which kind of right now when Eldridge says about moving your hands, and you always get all sorts of sort of different gestures, and they sort of seem to have different meaning. It's very hard to understand, like it's a sort of deep thing, but it kind of reminded me, people when they pray, they do like this, no?
Yeah, well,
And it's
here,
like,
you put
uh,
your hands to the heart center. Yeah, in
yeah,
yoga.
but I know that some people pray like this, or at least
Yeah,
like in
some
Asian cultures, they do this. So maybe like we either unconsciously know it, or maybe some traditions sort of understood it. So my answer to you would be that probably yes, we definitely in the higher state, when you're, especially after you've just done ayahuasca and you're like vibrating high, you definitely have stronger access. And I think during your ayahuasca session, sometimes you have direct access, and you can see your future, see your past, and manifest things immediately. So I think those two things tie together very nicely, meaning that if you do ayahuasca, then you're not only you will
your
unbreak this, break apart your mind to even allow yourself to think those thoughts, because some people they're so deep down in that energetical hole that they think like it's over and it can only get worse. So, and then when you do manifestations, it's also a form of meditation, even if you take away
yes.
the
If you
the
let me,
supernatural
bef-
part.
before I forget my thought,
Go
I
for it.
absolutely think that it brings you higher on the level of vibration. What it also does, when we are as human in our normal self, I call it 3D state. When we are, say, meditating, we get ourselves to 4D state. But what happens with ayahuasca, it's like you get to the 5D, and you can get there with meditation, but it's harder and you need to be more advanced. And if you know Joe Dispenza, he's talking about this 5D, but when you get into this, into the state where you are nobody, no one, and you connect with the universe and with your energy, with your vibrations, you straight, like when you see something and when you repeat something to yourself in that 5D, that's when you manifest it like instantly. And to get there, you need to get to your subconscious mind like straight away. I think that's what ayahuasca is doing to you. You kind of get there quicker, like on the rocket instead of elevator with meditation.
Yeah. The way that I like to explain the whole sort of spirituality and the personal growth field is like, there is a mountain, and you want to get to the top, and there's it's a big mountain, there's hundreds of different walks and paths, and ayahuasca is like a helicopter that takes you to the top. But the thing is that it comes with a caveat that it takes you to the top for like a couple hours, and then it takes you back down, not all the way down to the base, but somewhere closer. But the thing is that once you know what expects you up there on the top of the mountain, be it you call it nirvana or enlightenment, or just, just being happy and grounded and connected, you will be more motivated to wanna return. And I guess your method is one of the methods to
Yeah,
get
you
to
can
the top.
top it up with my coaching and with the meditations and with actually raising your awareness by your conscious mind, using your conscious mind. So you can get, as you said, yeah, you can take a helicopter. And for some people, if they're afraid, they can take like little steps and also get there. It's just another way to get there. We all want to get into this happy, loving, amazing state where we feel the most joyful selves. Like what I say, it's about coming back to being your own self, your child self. So if before all the limitations or the limiting beliefs, everything that our parents unconsciously put into us, well, if you remember yourself as a child being that happy, joyful, enjoying yourself, being creative self, that's where we want to get. With ayahuasca or with coaching, it doesn't matter, but I think that's what we want to come back to.
So we have another question from Quinton Dodson. He says, how do you handle the faith in manifesting when something you're trying to manifest didn't come? Something with a timeline, like a promotion that I believed I had a deep in my heart, shook the foundation of what I believed because I didn't manifest it.
Yes. So what is happening? You have, like, if you think of the coin, you have two sides. So what is happening? With one thought you're manifesting and you want it. So there must have been an opposite negative thought that was stronger. So you might have thought, oh, it might not work. It's not. If you had this 100% belief that it's gonna work, it would have worked. But what happened in this case could be that you didn't have this 100% belief, and maybe you doubted deep down. And unfortunately, our negative thoughts are actually we feel them more. If that thought was with feeling, that's what's happening. You manifest the opposite. Yes. So I wouldn't give up. Failure for me is only when you give up, and it's not the failure. You can just come back. I would recommend you to read this book, God Works Through Faith by Robert Russell. It will really give you this little bit, in-depth understanding of what faith is, and it's important to not only believe 1 second and then be negative the other second. We want to stay in that faith 51% of the time, more than 50% of the time. If you can, then your manifestation is definitely gonna occur.
Quentin, my opinion would also be that, maybe that promotion is not what you need. Who knows, maybe you're not even in the right field. Because sometimes to go forward, you need to go back first, and it's kind of complicated. I think that
it's definitely teaching him something. It's a lesson.
Yeah.
Every single thing that is happening to you in your life is a lesson.
When
and
you
you will know if it was meant to happen only when you look back into it. So when say in a few years time, you will know why you didn't get that promotion. And that it did definitely teach you something. It's always, every experience is there for the higher good of all, and it's what you needed to have at that time. Maybe it's actually teaching you to be a little bit more in faith, to actually strengthen your faith. And we always have a contrast. What also happens a lot of the time, it's not just to see the light, we have to see the dark first. So the next time, now you saw this dark, next time you get this promotion and you really believe in yourself, you will feel the feeling of this, a little bit stronger. So it's going to happen. If this is definitely what you desire and you feel like this is what you want, you're going to have it 100%.
There's also an aspect of sort of destiny and doing what you are here to do. Like we all sort of have this little mission. and sometimes you're just on the wrong path. And like when you're on the wrong path, you can be pushing as hard as you can, and it's just not working. For example, I mean, I was working my job on the offshore oil and gas platforms and making a lot of money. And let's say if I only wanted success and wanted that promotion, I could have probably gotten it and sort of do something that I hate. It still wouldn't make me happy. So it's like, ask yourself, is the career you're in, is that promotion really what you really desire, or is it something that you think you need right now? And in that case, like, I like to think
Yes,
about it like,
is it coming from the place of need, or is it from the love? So what you need to really ask yourself, is that something that I would love, or is it something that I would need? If it's coming
yeah,
from the place of need, it nearly like 99% is that it's not going to happen. You need to find something that comes from the place of love, and today is a great day to do this. It's sit down and really ask yourself, what would you love? What do you want to do with your life?
come to the retreat, sit with Mother Aya and ask her, if she, what you should do with your life, if the promotion is what you need or not. But yeah, I hope we gave you some ideas. We have another question from Jay. I hope you're not in a
Beautiful.
hurry. Says,
No, I'm not.
when drinking ayahuasca and when you go on your journey, sometimes you connect to people that have passed away. You get some healing and know they're around. Something about people that passed away. I don't think it has much to do with manifestation, but I do believe that it's possible, and I do believe you communicate with those people, because many people
Yeah,
at
that's
the
right.
retreat have. And I think since started working with medicine, I changed my attitude towards death in general and what happens. I no longer believe that we ever die. And I think that
Nothing is ever created or destroyed.
mhm.
Everything, like I hope you know that. Yeah, this is what I believe right now as well. That nothing is ever created or destroyed. It's all here. It was always here. What we as humans do is just we merely become aware of something. So if you were meant to have something, you're gonna have it. And manifestation is just a way of really by vibrating on a certain vibration, feeling the feeling, attracting to yourself something that you already know is here for you. And that's
So
every time you
I'm not sure if we're replying to your message, but basically, I do believe you connect to people that have died, and I think that they still exist somewhere. And I think if you want to heal the relationship with them, that can be done. But yeah, let's go back to the subject of the conversation, guys. If you ask questions, please make sure they're applicable. And if you want us to do another live sessions about some different topics, then leave a
yeah
comment what you want it to be about. Um, Diana, you said you're launching this free mastermind. Is that true? Is that correct?
masterclass, yes. It's gonna
A
be
masterclass, sorry.
yeah, I'm actually doing something. If you're interested in in finding out more about manifesting and what you can do to bring yourself closer, and also how to shift your non-productive limiting beliefs, I have a masterclass coming up next week, from the 17th and 18th of November. It will be 9 to 10 p.m. EST, and if you can join me, and I will be there. It's free. It's available for everyone. You can come and I will teach you some skill, something that I do, the tools that help me to come from this unhappy, stressed and unfulfilled into happy and enjoying my life, prosperous life that I wish to have for everyone to have. And yeah, and that's what I'm shouting out from the rooftops. I want everybody to have this. So yeah, if you can join me November 17th and 18th. And Shahmir, I'm gonna give you the link to share, in
We're
your post.
gonna leave a link in a post somewhere, and to make sure that you guys can find that. I
Yeah.
wanna talk about something before we finish that conversation. Is that knowing my sister and observing her through years, I can definitely say she's changed a lot. She has been quite miserable before. to be honest.
In 2
Like,
years, you've been here. You've seen my relationship with my husband
yeah,
and kids, and
yeah,
yeah,
there was a lot of problem. I can definitely see improvement. And yeah, guys, that's just another way of doing your own personal growth. So come check out the link and join the masterclass, or
yeah, masterclass.
I
Yeah.
keep saying mastermind. I don't know why. And
Mastermind is something that that my students do, and it's yeah, it's good as well. It's the people that enroll into my coaching programs. They do mastermind, and we have coaching sessions and stuff like that.
we have Aldrich Dufashard says, send me up for the class, and he left his email. So you got
beautiful.
one.
So Shahmir, some short some you can share my link. Yes, and guys, I want you to do the meditation as well. I created it specifically. I've uploaded it onto YouTube because I used it on with my clients from my own platform, but I uploaded this into YouTube. I want you to do this today if you can, because this will help you to really connect. Today's amazing energy, it's quadruple. If you really are, if there's something that you want to manifest, do this meditation today, create your life, and yeah, sit down, journal, make sure that you do this today. Today is a special day. That's why I this morning, it was Sam's morning, and I was like, we have to do this. I think it people in your group will like it, so definitely do this today.
Dennis Ortiz also says me too, so he also wants to sign up and learn more about that.
Beautiful.
Okay, guys, I think on that we can close up, and it was really interesting to learn about that from you, Diana. And yeah, I've been manifesting things consciously or unconsciously, and definitely want to take it to the next level.
So what is it? What is it now? Maybe tell everybody, what are you manifesting, if not secret?
What am I manifesting at the moment?
Yeah, what? Yeah.
A couple things. I have once again, I have a little list in my phone that I have. I sort of pursue a couple of directions, things about relationship, personal things that I would like to achieve. But my main goal right now, and I think people in this group will not be surprised because I talk about it in every word circle, is that we are creating this community where we're gonna purchase a property of land where we're going to build an ayahuasca retreat that will be next level from what we have now. There will be a co-working, co-living, an eco hotel. There will be gyms, saunas, ice baths, and all different workshops and different yoga classes and different plant medicines, all of that happening at the same time. So it's going to be an ayahuasca retreat / a digital nomad remote worker community / just a place where people come, they get transformed, and then they go back to their real life, and they transform their own world.
It's beautiful idea. And so you too, Sam, today you do my meditation and you imagine all of that. You create it all in your head. And
I will do that. I will do that. But as of now, what I've been doing is I just, before my meditations, I like to do this Wim Hof breathing exercise, just one set. It just completely changes my brain state. And then all I do is, like, for example, I imagine one thing. I like walking. Normally after lunch, I go for a walk. By the way, you're ruining my routine. I go for a walk for an hour, and I listen to audiobooks or podcasts, or sometimes just thinking. So what I imagine, one of my visions is that in this new retreat that we're going to build, I'm going to have a path made of stone where I'm going to be walking after my lunch, and then I walk around and I see like some happy person that came from his room and he's going to the gym, and he salutes me and says like, "Oh, nice ayahuasca session yesterday," because that kind of happens to me right now already during the retreat. Like, this conversation is grateful people, but I just sort of imagine very small, very detailed moments, and I try to imagine how I feel and how I like the smells, and like just go very, very, very much in detail. And then I imagine like I pass by Maloka, the medicine house, and I look at it, how it looks like. and then I pass through this area, and then what I see, and just go in detail. And yeah, just imagine things that I like to imagine, they can make me feel good, and it just fills me up with that confidence that it's gonna all happen. And I never say if it's gonna happen. I always say when it's gonna happen.
It is done. Just keep saying it is done. It is done. And maybe when you're doing some actions, also like the night before, write down 6 things that you need to do. Because we like to dream sometimes, but to follow up with an action is important. And when you do actions, do them in spirit and connect to yourself in your vision. Ask what would I do if I were like the Sam that has all of that? How would he do this? I think that's a good one.
Yes, okay, guys. On that note, it was a fun little conversation, and we'll do more of those in the future. So tune in. I have lined up an expert on integration that I want to interview, a medical doctor that we want to do an interview, that she came to the retreat and talk about what are the parallels between Hindu tradition, Eastern tradition, and ayahuasca tradition that she discovered while during the ayahuasca. And yeah, if you know someone who might want to participate in one of those live sessions, then also tag them in the comments or share them to me on WhatsApp or on Facebook. And yeah, Diana, pleasure talking to you in that setting, for kind of like professional setting, you can say. It's the first time for us. And I'm looking forward to see where you're going with your journey and how we can intertwine them, or like make grow
I'm
together.
looking forward to coming to this beautiful retreat where I can go for the gym and sit down and do my on my laptop, looking at the beautiful Colombian landscape.
Yeah, we already spoke about it. You're probably gonna give me part of the money that I need to buy it, so you will be notified.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm manifesting that as well, so it's great. It's gonna be
Okay, guys, it was a pleasure, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Trai nai nai con la vida, vida de la baila, cura con la guaira, limpia limpia taita, vive